This is me.
Just kidding. This is me.
My name is Amanda, and welcome to my podcast where I will be talking about pop culture, music,
Film, drama, and fan videos.
Hello, and welcome back to my channel, Always Popular. I'm Amanda, your host, and let's get into this week's episode. When it comes to beloved reality shows that are addictive and entertaining to watch, there's a certain amount of shows that are like that. However, there's some that belong in the trash. About less than a month ago, one of the most beloved reality TV show hosts passed away, Jerry Springer. So this week, we're going down memory lane and reminiscing on why Jerry's show has become so popular and beloved for the general public all these years later. Also, this is going to be on celebrating the memory of Jerry as well. So let's talk about this lovable but loco show. Born as Gerald Norman Springer on February 13th, 1944, and known professionally by the world as Jerry Springer, before becoming a talk show host, he studied political science in college and worked as a political campaign advisor for Robert F. Kennedy in 1968. Sadly, after Robert got assassinated, he started practicing law. He practiced law in Cincinnati, and that's where eventually he became the mayor there in 1977 for a few years until 1978. He also worked as a local news anchor in Cincinnati and won Emmys for his commentary. With his commentary and soft-spoken voice, he started a reality show called The Jerry Springer Show. The Jerry Springer Show premiered in September of 1991. Over the years, the show has become a well-loved favorite trashy talk show with millions of screwed up people on the show whom I thought were actors. I was thinking there's no way these people are real. Sadly, they were. Around the time of the 90s to early 2000s, it gained massive popularity after its first season. The show was surprisingly considered unsuccessful in ratings for the first season because the focus of the show was more political. Between 1997 to 1998, the show had reached a huge audience. However, the critics were less impressed and all the reviews for the show were mostly negative, and even TV Guide called the show the worst TV show of all time. It's a good thing that Jerry had a sense of humor and sometimes introduced his show live as the worst TV show of all time. But was it really? Around the time of the 90s and early 2000s, trust me, there were other shows that were equally as annoying and stupid. For example, like Super Nanny, The Bad Girls Club, The Simple Life, Parental Control, Next, and even The Maury Show, and many more. However, there was something special about Jerry's show, the man himself. With his commentary, patience to let everyone talk, and many times he let his audience talk to the guests, even though sometimes that probably wasn't a good idea. There was something about Jerry that was likable, and people thought of him as a good person. He seemed to have a genuine demeanor and seemed like he wanted to help out these people who went onto his show. His commentary was also full of banter, and he showed his personality through his show. He behaved professionally on the show and never insulted anyone's backstory, unlike his audience members. Many audience members loved roasting the people who came onto the show. Surprisingly, I had a friend that went onto this show. At least on the bright side, shouldn't behave that badly. Anyway, let's talk about Jerry. These are the top reasons why I think Jerry's show was lovable but loco. The most obvious one would be the fights. Let's get ready to rumble. As bad as the fights were, scripted or not, some of them were just over the top and brutal. However, there's just something about the fights that were entertaining to watch. People got glued on and sucked into his show. I can even admit when I was sick and had to stay home from school, this show was one big guilty pleasure. It still is one of the only trashy reality shows I watch, despite me not liking fighting at all. Sometimes before the fighting would even occur, Jerry made facial expressions that were hard to ignore, and he wasn't the only one either. Also, when these weirdos with relationship problems ended up roasting each other on stage, you literally burst out laughing. It was hilarious the way these people would describe the other person. Sometimes I can get sucked into a rabbit hole of his shows for a few hours, especially when I was bored. Even funnier, I never noticed that Steve Wilkos was one of the bodyguards on his show when I was younger. Those who don't know who Steve Wilkos is, he got his own reality show and spin-off off of the Jerry Springer Show, and it's still on TV today. He commonly got in the middle of all the batshit crazy people. God bless Steve, who had to deal with all these people. The second reason is the drama or backstory behind all these people. Once again, whether if real or not, I feel most of them are liars and just want extra attention. Anyone with problems would go to a therapist or anyone else, not a TV show. Why go on a TV show? Well, I think we all know why. It's like, wow, congratulations. The entire world thinks that you're a weirdo or a psycho, or both. So when it comes to profanity, you have people who are swearing every 3 seconds. Out of all the shows I watch, definitely one of the top 3 shows with the most swearing. To the point sometimes you have to put the show on mute to drown out their annoying voices. Sometimes these people are too much, or just plain losers. The personalities on this show are interesting too. You either have the one person who just rambles on and never shuts up, the innocent one who gets screwed over, and the one girl who fights the other girl when her man is the problem. The third and last reason is the makeouts on this show. Sure, some of them are sweet and romantic, however, some people are weird with their PDA and would just full on make out with each other for a long time. They are like taking forever, and it's just awkward to witness. It's also awkward when one girl's hair gets pulled and dragged down to the floor. And even weirder when sometimes on the show they allow the lovers to play in the mud or being dragged into shit. However, the fans seem to love it when they put on a show. They love the kisses, whether if it's romantic or messy, with straight people or gay people. People are entertained either way. And as I am coming up on my final thoughts of the night, I just wanted to say, be nice to your significant other. Break up with someone before you start dating someone else. Don't be an ass for no reason. Also, no one gets hyped up like Jerry does, and you don't hear an audience chanting someone's name for no reason. Jerry was quite simply a memorable and iconic TV personality and name. Very little shows have the type of craziness and are still unforgettable years later. The fact that the show came out 32 years ago and is still being watched and talked about is pretty insane. Jerry was truly a pioneer in television history. Remember, take care of yourself and each other, and Jerry, hopefully we will see you again. Rest in peace. Once again, thanks for listening and watching, and you'll hear me in the next episode.